Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. We are gonna dive into this one, the Glamlite and Chucky collection. I have the box here. I've already taken out all of the things from the box. I am super excited to be diving into this collection. This is the Valentine's collection from Glamlite. They are doing the love story between, what's her face? Chucky and Chucky's chick. I need to find out what her name is. I can already tell that you're like screaming at me in caps lock in the comments what her name is. I'll be googling her name. But let's jump into this collection. It's here. Tiff. Her name is Tiff. Don't come for me. I don't like horror movies. I know some people think it's like a, the thrilling feeling. The only thing I feel when I get scared or when someone, like a jump scare or anything like that, is anger. I will punch. If you scare me, I'll punch you out. Don't try and scare me. I don't like it at all. But I have been sitting around all day waiting for this. So if my makeup is looking in any way crusty, it's because I have been waiting for this. I actually watched a movie. I watched Julie and Julia. Or is it Julia and Julie? I think it's Julie and Julia. I watched that and then the package came. So let's dive into it. This collection is available. It launched today on Glamlite. The prices are between, I think the eyeliner kit is the least expensive thing for $12. I think the lip kits are $15 and the eyeshadow palette that I have here is $32. You can use the discount code on the collection to get 15% off. My code is Angelica, and if you do use my code, thank you so much for helping me out and helping my channel out. I will leave all the info down below to this collection, where you can find it. Some of the things are sold out. The full collection is on a pre-order, and I think the blush sold out, but Glamlite did say that they are going to restock if there is something that you wanted that is not available. But I do know that the palette is available, and that's the part that I am the most intrigued by. So let's dive into this one and let's see what we can create. And actually, let's just start talking about the eyeliner duo kit. This is just a little duo kit that has two eyeliners. There's an eyeliner pen and an eyeliner, like a pen and a liquid liner, and we'll do something with this. I have no idea, like for me a black eyeliner is never super exciting, and since this is not the franchise that's gonna make me just burst into flames of just excitement, I'm like, oh, it's an eyeliner duo. I mean, if this had been a franchise that I've been into, listen, had this been Glamlite and a gaming company, I would have been sitting here vibrating out of excitement. So if you love Chucky, I don't blame you for being extra excited. This is the piece that I think is sold out, and this is the blush duo kit. This is the Chucky and Tiff blush duo kit, and mine came a little bit cracked. I have heard from the brand that due to licensing, they weren't able to do two different colors, so instead it's one color. But it is a really pretty. I thought that this was going to be the same kind of a super bright pastel-y bubblegum pink as they did in the strawberry shortcake collection, but this is darker and a little bit more of a corally, warmer pink. So I am excited to be trying it out. I do have a little cream blush on because I was filming a reel before now and TikTok. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. It's always down below in case you're interested. And then there are two lip kits. So there is the Tiff lip kit and there is the Chucky lip kit. These lip liners and lipsticks have the characters on the packaging. And the Tiff lip kit is a dark burgundy and the Chucky lip kit is a neutral. This whole collection is created as the love child from Anthony, who is the VP at Glamlite. He is such an amazing, sweet person. I've met him. He is so sweet and so kind, and I'm so excited for him to take one of his favorite franchises, which is Chucky, and make it into a makeup collection together with the company that he's working for, which is Glamlite. And I think they made a great job with the packaging and the theming and all of that. I mean, if you were really into Chucky like he is, I'm sure you would love this. I mean, just look at the packaging of the palette. That is stunning. This palette, like I said, is $32, and this color scheme is nothing like anything that I have seen Glamlite do before. And this is what I love, when brands just reinvent themselves and just go in a totally different direction. And I think that Glamlite and Anthony did such a good job with this color story. If you know me, if you've been here on my channel before, you know that gray eyeshadow is not my favorite color to wear. But I do love reds and I do love purples and I do love dark colors. So I'm going to be playing a little bit more with the purples and the reds, and I'll leave the grays to people that really love grays. I have more of a slightly golden undertone and I just don't love grays on me. I just love all colors, but grays are just not my favorite. When I first saw this palette, the first palette that I thought of when I saw the inside of this one was the palette that Melt had together with Beetlejuice. Let me actually go and fetch that in my collection so we can see how similar they are. That palette was limited edition I think 2 years ago and it is discontinued, so if you didn't get that one, maybe this one could be for you. And also this one is more affordable and has more shades. So this is the Waiting Room palette. And I mean, there are some similarities in color story, but as you can tell, they're not exactly the same, but they're definitely the same. They have the same touch to them. I really love Glamlite's formula and I really love Melt's formula, but I prefer Glamlite's shimmers over Melt shimmers, and I think that when it comes to mattes, they're both equally pigmented. So for that reason, I am very intrigued by the Glamlite one, not only because, I mean, it's available and this is discontinued, but also because it is a slightly more affordable version. I mean, it is. I think that this one was like, what was this? I think this was very expensive. I mean, Melt is an expensive brand and it is discontinued. So I think it's going to be fun with this one. As I'm filming this, I haven't dug into this at all, but I feel like I am ready. Let's start with the blush actually. Like I said, I do have a little bit of blush on. Let me see if I can find a good brush, but let's dig in and see. I don't usually do... That's intense. I don't usually do pink blush. That is a cry for help. It's because I have the cream blush under, isn't it? Okay, this is very pigmented and I feel like I'm gonna have... Send help. Let's blend over with a little bit of a sponge and... Ooh, I don't have a highlighter. I do look like a doll right now, and I will say it does look like I am about to attack you. Do I have a highlighter at hand? You know what I have at hand? I have this new Charlotte Tilbury highlighter at hand. Let's just put a little bit of that on top, because the only thing I had before was that cream blush. I like this color more than I like the color from, this is the new Charlotte Tilbury, more than I like the color from the Strawberry Shortcake collection, because I prefer a pink that is a little warmer and a little darker over a pastel. And with the highlighter on top, that actually turned out really good. I will link everything down below, including what color I have in this highlighter, but I really like it with a highlighter on top. That actually turned out really good. Here's the thing, I've already seen a couple of videos about this collection. I watched some of my friends' videos on this collection because I know Glamlite, I know their formula, and I know it well enough. So if I were to recognize throughout this period of time that something is off and something is different, I will be able to tell because I know this formula very well. And all the ones I've seen are using this Tiff lip kit. So I thought that we could do the Chucky one that is the more neutral leaning one. So I thought that maybe we can do something a little bit different. And if you were wondering, oh my God. And if you're wondering how that dark red is looking, just look at some of the other reviews that are up, because they are wearing that. Oh, that is a dark liner. I already had a little bit of liner from the reel that I had been doing before, but this is definitely darker. I really like the lip liners from Glamlite. They are sharpenable lip liners, which is something that I love because I feel like it can be really precise with that. But these are still very pigmented and very creamy without being smeary, and they're not dry at all. I decided to come in a little bit so that you can actually see what's going on. The lip liner is pretty dark, but I think the lipstick is like a little bit lighter. So this is the Chucky lipstick, and it has this beautiful like imprint on the inside too. Yeah, it's a little bit lighter. That's actually really pretty. How's that looking? I think it's looking really cute. I like it. I'm a fan. Okay, let us dive into the eyeshadow palette. I do need to do a little bit of primer. I'm gonna use my normal favorites, and should I have thought about this? I think we're gonna start with this one. That is the dark red. Also, what do you think about my Valentine's nails? Are these not the cutest nails you ever seen in your life? Say yes. We're gonna start with this red one that is called Till Death Do Us Part. I don't know any of these references, so don't come for me. I'm gonna do small, wiggly... Oh, that's pigmented. I'm gonna do small, wiggly motions because I want this to be pigmented. Oh yeah, that is definitely a really nice dark burgundy matte that is super pigmented. When I'm working with dark mattes like this, and when I want to make sure that they show up pigmented and non-patchy, I use a brush and I press it into the primer while I'll do small circular motions. No swippy swipey, don't do that. Do the small circular motions, work it into the primer, and make sure that you have the shadow where you want it to be before you start working on the edges. That's how you make sure that your shadows stay opaque and non-patchy. That is so dark and sexy. Okay, so with the same brush, I'm gonna start breaking up the line and just wiggling a little bit on the line. Is that a fuzzy? Is that a fuzzy? Why is there something black here? I have no idea. I'm gonna start wiggling on the line to make sure that we start breaking it up a little bit. I kind of wish that this palette had like a true red. I think I'm gonna blend out the edge with this one, but I do wish that there was a red like this one, because that's just something that I love, and it would have been so pretty in this palette. But again, I don't know if that fits in with the theme at all. Maybe it doesn't, like, never saw the movie. Don't take my word for it. So this is that color Scarier Than Ever, which is that like almost pinky mid-tone mauve, like a cool tone pinky gray almost. And I'm just using very little, oh my god, hair everywhere, very little, and I'm just blending a little bit on the edge to soften up the edge. I still want to keep this super dark sexy burgundy, and I just want to blend the edge a little bit to make it seem a little bit more blended. Maybe something like this is okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to do something. Just trying to do something that's good enough. How do we feel about that? I'm gonna add a little bit more red on the edge. Apparently my dog needs to be in here. That is very, very sexy. And I even have colors to deepen this up with, but I'm like, this is already so deep. I am loving how this is looking, and we are gonna use the same dark burgundy under my eyes as well. I'm just so excited. Are we gonna do like a super smoky look? Are we gonna do a like dark on the lid? I think so, right? Should we do the black? I do love a black on the lid. Maybe we'll do that. I'm sorry that my dog is like, if you hear him in the background, he's just running from room to room. I think he's bored with me. Okay, so there is this, I feel like this is an even darker blackened plumish burgundy. Wow, have you ever heard anyone be so extra with describing a dark red? Have you? I don't think so. And I think we're gonna use this and we are gonna deepen this even more, and then why don't we use this one that is called Your Pal Since 98? Is that the year that this came out? Asking for me. And it's always easier to do a smoky eye if you have a super smoky crease. So try to build the crease first and just make it as dark as possible. It is gonna make it so much easier once you get that like black or almost black on top. So this is the Your Pal Since year 98. It is a very, like, you can tell when you picked it up that this is a very creamy shadow. I'm still gonna spray it a little bit because I want to make sure that I am not getting any fallout, and that is definitely a dog hair. So you can tell this is super smoky, and I'll blend a little bit more eventually as well, and I still got fallout. Why do I always pick on too much on my brush? But it's not blended to absolute perfection, but I think it's fairly good blended. I think I did a really good job. And now that the crease is so dark, I can really put this one on, and it's going to be so much easier to get this to blend in. Look at that. Is that not looking so good? That is looking so... Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Let me see if I can use a little bit more of that mauve shade and just blend a little bit on the edge in between to make sure that it looks somewhat seamless. But I think I did a pretty good job. I think that that looks fairly seamless, and like, listen, we're trying to do a rocker chick look here. Wow. Look at that like wet look lid. I think I'm gonna leave it like this, but honestly, this is so cool. I really want to try with the use the eyeliner kit. So which one is the liquid liner and which one is the... Okay, so this is a liquid liner. It's very little tip. Oh, and this is the pen. Okay. Should we start with the liquid liner? Do I need a liquid liner? I don't need a liquid liner. Listen, I don't need a liquid liner. I'll use that some other time, but I'm just gonna do black here. Oh, that is very pigmented. I'm a little bit shocked at how good that looks. Wow. The look is done, everything is done, and honestly, I look like a bad bitch, and I am all about it. I have no idea how Tiff looks. I mean, I guess she looks like this. Am I that? She has very thin eyebrows. Maybe I should have embraced my thin eyebrow life, but honestly, I feel like I did something with this palette. I really love the look, and don't be afraid to play with some dark colors. And I was even poloing with some of my friends, and I was saying that this is such a good palette to mix and match with other palettes as well, because it is so deep, and this would be such... This together with a pastel palette, this together with one of those, you know, the rainbow tropical summer palettes that every brand brings out in the summertime, this would be like this and the Barbie palette from Glamlite. Bitch, that would be so cool. What I love the most about this palette is that this is the same great quality that Glamlite usually does. I really love the Glamlite formula, but it is a new and exciting color story from them that I have not seen before, and I'm so excited to see that this past year with Glamlite has just been them trying out new concepts, new color stories, and new ways of just interpreting themes, and I am all here for it, and I cannot wait to see what they are doing in the future. And I'm super excited. I'm actually filming this, well, the day that this is going up on Valentine's Day, so I'm very excited that this is the makeup look that I'm going to be wearing when my husband comes back from work. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing Valentine's Day, and I will actually see you again tomorrow for a new video. Bye!